Hello, everybody. This is Milesluigi. Welcoming you back for another Let's Read What You Guys Have to Say, where we take a look at YouTube comments and wonder what they're all about. Joining me today is.
Higsby, hello.
It's been a while since we've done one, and this is a really special one because not too long ago I uploaded a video, Let's Play Mario and Luigi Partners in Time Part 3A, Time for a Lecture, where I gave a 7-minute long lecture about the time travel in Mario and Luigi, and this just caused a giant slew of comments, and inherently because this is a really interesting topic to me, I just thought, why don't we go over all the comments and discuss them a little bit more, shall we?
Hmm.
Evil Pop Tart is not with us. Sadly, he could not be with us tonight. And in case you guys are wondering, I don't have my good microphone on me, but that's beside the point. Let's go ahead and take a look at these comments. I have them ordered by top comments. However, YouTube orders top comments because actually Yoshi's is not the top rated comments in terms of thumbs up, but his was the first that appears, in which he says, "Stick grandfather with a tiny head. I learned how bad Miles Luigi can draw and paint." Or GIMP, or whatever, in this lecture. I still argue that thanks to no memory before age 3 or even up to 5 for anything concrete, as I saw my future self and went on adventures, everything works out. Eventually the two Toadsworths become a problem, but you could argue Toadsworth just stays quiet for about 20 years after the fact. Okay, shaky, but it works. It does. No need for dumb multiverse stuff. Oh, two Toadsworths show up right here. Well, Toadsworth can be forgetful, right? Let's just explain everything with memory loss. One timeline, easy, smiley face. Should have been Toadette, now playable in the upcoming Captain Toad game. Before we get to the replies, what do you think, Higsby?
Yeah, I agree. I guess for me personally, whenever all this time travel shenanigans happens and people start yelling paradox and all that, I'm like, it's a game, and I'm going to enjoy the game and not overanalyze the game like we're kind of doing. So I guess that's kind of my take on it. So I guess I'm kind of with Yoshi, right? So I guess that's kind of how I feel. But analyzing this can be fun too, so why not?
Yeah. My point of view is let's just take your life experience, viewer, Wayoshi, whoever, and imagine if the first house slash apartment that your parents lived in was different. Because very likely your parents, before they had the house that they have right now, maybe I'm wrong about this, but they likely lived in an apartment or maybe somewhere else before they actually got a house. I know that was the case for me. Imagine that was different. That still seems to have would have made an effect on you, even if you wouldn't have remembered it. That's just my personal take on it, though. So, anyway, the replies include one from 64 Popter who goes, Toad gets his own game gets forgotten by Nintendo. Waluigi, Nintendo, please. I reply by going, Great Emerald makes a comment that I think does a great job explaining how the single timeline can work in this situation. My point was less about memory and more about how actions in the past would be changing who the brothers are, and consequently the brothers would change as a result. We'll get to Great Emerald's comment in a little bit, but then Yoshi replies, If the babies don't remember what they did with the adults, there's no anachronismic influence on them, thus no change. I still would argue against that, but that's just me.
Oh, but it's not. It doesn't always just come down to memory either. What if one of them like broke their hand or something like that? And
Exactly.
that would make changes to the future too. I think definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess that kind of applies, but still, video game shenanigans is my favorite explanation.
All right. Next comment comes from Sod of Death. Higsby, I'll let you read Sod of Death comment.
Sure. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theo. Cough, cough. Let's play Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. Missed opportunity here? Question mark, colon, capital P.
And the replies, Hi, Son of Death, how is he treating you? At which point, I reply, But that's just a theory, a Mario and Luigi theory, followed by smiley face, carrot, carrot, smiley face, and finally, how is Death treating you, which I don't quite understand. I suppose it's referring to Sod of Death's username. No, my lecture, I will admit, was kind of in the vein of something that game theory would do, admittedly. So, and not exactly quite the same with the visuals. Game theory doesn't actually use a whiteboard, so.
This game theory does not draw stick people with incredibly small heads.
You got me there. Okay, all right, so we made it to Great Emerald's big giant post, and you want to know what, Higsby? I'm torturing you. Read Great Emerald's comment.
All right, let me make sure I got this thing clicked here. Oh god, it's even longer than it initially looked. Okay. Like some others noted here, an alternative explanation is what's called the predetermined timeline in quotations period. The adults were always meant to go back in time and do what they did. They just didn't know it. They may very well remember their adult selves from when they were babies too. Semicolon. They don't speak, comma, so there's no way to tell! Exclamation mark. As for Toadsworth, his old self may very well fail to realize that what he saw when he was young was actually him in the present. Under this theory, nothing you do in the past makes any difference. If you do nothing, events unfold the same way to the present. If you do a lot, things still unfold the same way. The outcomes may be different, but since everything is predetermined, it's also predetermined how you'll act when you go back to the past. You still put your best effort into your actions, though, since you don't know what will happen in the future, bracket Mario defeated shrooms equals they won't appear in the future, else they might appear again! Exclamation mark. What's it called? I just said it. Parentheses, period. That's what I get for watching a lot of Star Trek. They do time travel stories regularly, and I almost each time use a different theory behind it too. And
Oh, good. My gosh, great Emerald. That is amazing. Predetermined Fate is probably the best single timeline theory to this game's game travel. And obviously, I need to watch more Star Trek, and I also need to watch more Doctor Who. Because those shows evidently get time travel down way better than I do. But anyway, 64 Pop Tarts. Well, okay, this is a bit more on the comedic side, I think, rather than the time theory side of things. Your video will not play? Help! Anyone? Finally!
How does he and other people record DS and 3DS games?
This is the DS. I play the game using Desmume. For 3DS, unfortunately, you need to look into buying a 3DS capture card.
Thanks, and great video.
Yes. The Nintendo DS working emulator out there. You can just use it. Thank goodness, thank gracious. Nintendo should just give you a way to play DS games and 3DS games. DS games on a console are something you can actually record, though, like GBA and Game Boy games. You have the Super Game Boy, you have the adapter for the GameCube, and you have nothing for DS, 3DS.
I know, like even PlayStation TV just came out a couple days ago in the United States where you can play Vita games on your TV for $100, and you don't even need a console. You just need this thing you go to the store and buy for $100. Like, Nintendo needs something like that, really.
I'm very familiar because the actual capture card for 3DS is around $250, or you could buy a 3DS pre-equipped with one for like $450. I digress. Let's go ahead and move on to Slimezilla 4's comments. Higsby, take this one.
All right. I believe the theory that this game's plot wasn't very well thought out, and the developers just wanted to have adult and baby Mario and Luigi.
I wouldn't be so sure with how absurd Mario and Luigi plots are, but the argument does hold some water for the just wanted to have adult and baby Mario and Luigi together. Which in that sense, yeah, it does. Alpha Dream does a really liberal job with Mario and Luigi's stories in the first place, so they could be just like, oh, time travel, there we go, now we can use all 4 buttons. I do think the plot was better thought out than what Slimezilla leads me to believe it was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, Zoe Jablabber. Wow. Okay, here we go. I'll read this one. I kind of know a bit about time flow, but this lecture was amazing. I don't know if this is too terribly much to ask. I would like you to explain how holes can not only go to different points in time and space, also considering that the Earth orbits and normally doesn't go to the exact same space. Why would the hole appear in that many points in space? Would the time machine link anchor itself to the ground of the Earth and slightly travel higher than that matter? Would you do lectures in the future? Wait, I should ask how hard it was to make the lecture. I don't want you to make your work hard, man. You do enough for us. Smiley face, :D. P.S. I don't comment on it, but I have to say I love the lecture so much, and as an extra build onto this fantastic LP of this game. Hope you have a great day, man. Love you. Wow. That's a really positive comment. Thank you. Hey, Zoe. Thank you for enjoying the lecture. I enjoyed it too, so if I have ideas for future lectures, I'll definitely do them more often. He does bring a little bit of theory into this, though. I've specifically asked the question, well, if you went back in the time, the Earth itself was in a different place, so wouldn't you go to that different spot in its orbit? The thing is, if you take that into consideration, it's not just the Earth being a different spot in the orbit. You have to remember the Sun also orbits the entire Milky Way, so that would move too. So you're kind of running into a problem. Last I checked, our Milky Way is also floating in the grand scheme of the universe as well, so you would end up just being in a patch in the middle of nowhere.
I've,
So yeah,
yeah, I've never thought about it like that before.
so if you're going to take into account the Earth's orbit, that's not the only orbit you have to take into account. So you have to take into account the sun's orbit around the Milky Way and however the Milky Way is drifting or something like that. You know, in billions and billions and billions of years ago, last I checked, the Milky Way galaxy is actually supposed to collide with another galaxy. I forgot exactly what the astronomical idea behind it was, though. I need to do my research before this. But the point being, if you're going to hold that argument, there's more to it than just the Earth's orbit. All right. We're going to get to JD Aster 64's comment next now. Higsby, your turn.
All right. I'm willing to buy the reason the shrooms appeared in the alternate split timeline, I suppose, although I believe the exact catalyst Miles proposed kind of falls apart, as evidenced later in the game. Perhaps they invaded the past timeline upon realizing the Mushroom World inhabitants were capable of time travel and considered them intelligent enough to pose a threat or such. That would kind of explain away their sudden appearance in the timeline, whether or not it splits, I suppose.
I'm not remembering the full plot of this game, so I would not mind a personal message explaining how the Cobalt Star itself isn't the catalyst, or isn't the catalyst in itself. And I don't remember the full story to Mario and Luigi Partners in Time later down the road as to how I explained how the Cobalt Star itself, it appearing in the past, ended up being the catalyst to cause the Shroom invasion. So JD Aster, if you could just let me know, that'd be fantastic, and I would just be super happy, and then I'll point it out in the Let's Play when the time comes up. So, anyway, 64 Pop-Tart, you are a king. Wow, we are missing the evil Pop-Tart. Higsby, could you do this one again for me, please? I'll do Yankee Gal.
Alright. I wish these came out faster until Andrew updates. You are my hope for the group. Evil Pop-Tart, can you walk backwards?
Andrew? I don't call him that. You mean Higsby. We can call him Higsby here, not Andrew. Higsby sounds better. Both names work.
I call him Andrew. Okay.
We've had this discussion before. Your name is Andrew. My name is Ryan. Online, my alias is Milesluigi, and here we generally do call you Higsby. I sometimes slip up and say Andrew because we appear in each other's videos, and I do try to say Andrew in
they're both fine. In my videos, in your videos, I always introduce myself as Higsby, so I don't mind. I mean, I guess for people who may read the comments and not watch my videos or not know my real name, they may be confused if they see the name Andrew. But either way, people can call me whatever the heck they want. Although, yeah, Miles, why aren't you uploading more? Aren't you already uploading like 3 or 4 videos a week? Upload more. I demand you.
I gotta say, my current upload rate, I'm gonna pretty much keep. It works pretty well in my schedule of things, because doing a full-time job in graduate school doesn't leave enough time for me to become more like, the video a day YouTuber, or even possibly, oh god, more. And I'll be perfectly honest, I don't want to upload at that rate because I am subscribed to some people who do upload at that day rate, or even more commonly. I can't keep up with those videos. I just can't.
That's very, very, very crazy. But yes, 64 Pop-Tart. It's funny. Milesluigi and I were just discussing something related to a certain project that Milesluigi is taking part of very soon. I promise. Very, very soon.
By the time this video goes up, that project may have started. It may not. I'll link to it right now. It'll be on Higsby's channel or Andrew's channel. All right?
Hooray. Thank you.
All right. Our next comment comes from Blaze Moonspear, who goes, 11 minutes. I bet they're related to Kecleon, just like Yoshi is actually a Pokemon. 3. I don't know what he's talking about.
I think Kecleon, is that the chameleon Pokemon that can do chameleon stuff? I need to press 11, although I'm afraid it's going to break the page, although I'm doing it anyway. Oh yeah.
Oh, the guy who he said was related to Francis?
Yes.
Yes, that enemy. Okay. Okay, fair point. I just didn't know the Pokemon at all. All right. I like this guy's username. Oh hell yeah, 147. I'll do this one if you want to do Dimensional's Loyalist.
Sure.
But imagine you go back in time to kill your dad. Dad is dead. You cannot be born. You do not exist, and therefore cannot go back in time to kill your dad. What the fuck? That is the grandfather paradox, explained in a bit of a different way. Instead of the grandfather, it's the father. It's the same type of paradox, really.
That's actually really cool. I like this. I never thought about all these other things, like time machine, but the world not being in the same place, or going back in time and killing your dad, but then you wouldn't be born, therefore couldn't go back. Wow, That is really cool.
Time travel paradoxes, man. Anyway, Dimensional's Loyalist. Go ahead, Higsby.
At 11 seconds, oh no! I can't tell what's killing me more, the frame rate of your lecture or your drawing. Alright, back through the time portal. Cue time portal sound effects. Oh great, where am I now? It's dark and wet, and it smells like rum, and my jester boots are filthy, and a cannonball just came through the wall. Oh, I know where I am now. I love this part. I have not clicked this video, so I do not know what the reference is though. I see no reason I can't lend a hand. After all, if Mario dies here, he never defeats Dimension. What? You didn't really think the X-Nauts could heal that kind of damage, did you?
He's referencing actually that video is a part in my Let's Play of Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. And I guess his idea is, wait, if Mario goes back in time and dies, he could never go through Super Paper Mario, and therefore he doesn't kill Dimension. I think it's his ultimate point. But anyway, we have two more comments. I'll do Blaze Moonspear. You do Wiley Larson, please, Higsby.
Sure. Still a better drawer than me. : P. Also, 10 of the 10 would watch again.
Thank you. I've almost beaten this game. I'm stuck on a part where, spoiler alert, click read more to read less. JK : P. All the shards are stolen, and you have to fight that boss with the timer thingy and the two phases and all that blah.
So, are you spoiling the whole game for everyone who watches this video now, Milesluigi?
I don't know what he's talking about. Actually, I've played through Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. I don't know what he's talking about, so that's why I'm allowing it to be in this video.
Okay.
Anyway, Justin Renhack. I'll do this one because I want to go off of it. I got lost about 2 alligator clips ago, so I won't argue. In my lecture, I used the phrase alligator clip. Alligator clip was kind of used as a visual analogy here to my trying to explain how 2 timelines can get juxtaposed or kind of connected together to kind of act like one universe. If I may expand on this a little bit more, imagine if there was a door in your room, you open the door, and inside is another universe. In this case, that door to the other universe is another universe 20 years in the past. Does that make sense?
A bit. I think the problem was maybe people didn't know what alligator clips were.
Oh, okay. Alligator clips, you use them to kind of connect electrical circuits together. They kind of look like alligator teeth, hence why they're called alligator clips. But no, you clip on one end to one terminal and from one end to another terminal, and you can complete circuits to cause electricity to flow through them. That was my idea on why I used the term alligator clip. Sorry about that. I just realized some people don't know what alligator clips are.
They might just be a way. I think that they might be just be saying that they got confused.
Okay. Anyway, the Dark Mario and Sonic. Anyone think about a thing like Harry Potter, Azkaban Prisoner showed was that everything they changed in the past might have happened with them before they made the changes by themselves. I know it's a hard concept, but think for me that maybe Mario and Luigi remember the 2 adults that looked like them appearing from nowhere when they were babies. Just giving a concept of opinion here. Thanks for reading this huge ass commentary. Smiley face. That's the same as the Predetermined Fate theory by Great Emerald. So the idea that all this has happened, and just because there's time travel, it's already happened, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to read Wario Land Great Periods, Higsby?
Sure. This is as far as I played the game on an emulator, so everything from this point is new to me. And wow, this game is getting dark already. And I really enjoyed your time theory, Miles: D. Happy face.
Thank you. And yeah, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time is darker than you really realize when you actually critically look at it. So, it's a game about an alien invasion, after all. The time travel thing's just a side thing.
Mario needs some, darker, more in-depth story. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be dark, but just not so happy. Mario's gonna beat Bowser at the end and save the princess. Predictable stuff as always.
Okay, we are almost done. Just a couple more comments. I'll do Jumper666 Rooms. Wow, what an evil username. Toadette is a singular person. So that was not Toadette. Because Toadette is a singular person, does that make me wonder if female toads have a separate name, or are they all just toads?
Well, I would think that even normal toads have separate names, kind of like Toadsworth, but people just, I guess they're so low that no one really cares about them enough to refer to them by their normal names. It's just Toad.
My theory is Toadette is just a specific toad, and if you want to refer to a toad who happens to be female, you either call her a toad or you call her by her name.
Yeah, that's I agree to that.
I was just making the point that Nintendo's never confirmed that. We don't know that for sure, but evidently you can play as Toadette in the new Toad's Adventure game.
Is
So
that like a full game or is it like a download thing?
I think it's a download. Maybe it is a full game that costs $20. I don't know.
Honestly, I didn't have enough fun in those mini games to think it warranted a full game. Anyway, that's not the discussion of
Uh,
this video.
yeah. Anyway, Brita. Oh, the reason MNL are who they are is because of their experiences they had as a kid with their adult counterparts. Infinite Loop. Both MNL live in the same time twice as kids and adults. Anything done to the kids have already happened to the adults. Similar in idea to Predetermined Fate. Not quite the same, but some concepts there overlap.
Hmm.
I'm a little skeptical about that though, because then the theory is yes, these babies do work with their adult counterparts, and then their adult counterparts go back work with the babies, and that's ingrained in the timeline, and that's forever ingrained in the timeline. Under that theory, though, in our present day, wouldn't we have seen time travelers in the future by now?
Yeah. Well, you would think so, if it could.
hmm Okay. Anyway, next one, Xeon Atmosphere. Go ahead and take it, Higsby.
My headcanon on the time travel paradox is that rather than a split, things just inherently work themselves out, i.e., baby Mario and Luigi become adult Mario and Luigi because of the time loop. That is, if the time loop didn't exist and Mario and Luigi, adult Mario and Luigi would be different, but because the time loop does exist, baby Mario and Luigi develop into the adult Mario and Luigi that we know.
Fair point, fair point. I made this point in part two. It was either A or B where I mentioned, what if this time paradox thing didn't happen? Well, Mario and Luigi would be in Brooklyn, Mario would be saving his girlfriend, Paulina, from Donkey Kong, and he'd be a carpenter instead of a plumber. So there you go. There's my theory, a Mario and Luigi theory. I'm going to go ahead and do the Yankee Gal 13s, and then I'll let you get the last comment, Higsby. So first things first, Yankee Gal 13 goes, now why would anyone clean a toilet with fire? Of course we can clean up dog doo-doo with vacuums. Not a good idea, but not a bad idea either. Although I heard of people drying wet floor with space heaters as well. I'm curious if you dry floors with space heaters. No. Here's my theory on Baby Mario and Baby Luigi theory. You remember how in Yoshi's Island series we always see babies Mario and Luigi and a few other babies? Maybe Baby Mario and Baby Luigi are Mario and Luigi kids, like Peach and Daisy are Peach and Daisy's kids. Imagine it is Ace Attorney in a way. We don't know who the parents are more than half the time in some cases. Of course, I'm not sure Baby Mario is Mario's son and Baby Luigi is Luigi's son, unless it's like that fan fiction. I can imagine Mario and Luigi definitely having kids, definitely. Of course, you can have kids in King's Quest. Why can't Mario and Luigi have kids? Okay. Do you just want to go to talk before you can't?
Sure. Talk before you can't has to say. The lack of memory from when you are a baby is a factor. However, with the grandfather paradox you referenced Futurama. But if you go back in time and change something of the past, it will have a different outcome in the future. However, if the difference you did already happened in the past to make you who you are, then by going back in time you are making the action happen that made you into who you are. What if it is working like in Futurama, as in Fry went back in time and became his own grandfather, which he was always his own grandfather, and there wasn't a time stream where he wasn't. There is also a reference to something of this effect in a anime called Fairy Tail. It was the OVA Ep 3.
That is an episode of Futurama.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a parody on the grandfather paradox itself. I think Fry accidentally kills his grandfather. He doesn't spontaneously disappears, and then through something, he actually ends up becoming his own grandfather.
But he was always his own grandfather. That's
He
the
was,
thing.
yeah, exactly. The person who he thought he was his grandfather was never his grandfather in the first place. That's right. Oh, time travel, time travel. Well, thank you again, everyone, for all the wonderful. Wow, I came up with a new word.
Too much reading these comments.
Wonderful comments. So, this has been another Let's Read What You Guys Have to Say. I apologize. I really haven't been doing these too often. As I mentioned in the previous comments, about a video today, not really any more than that. That ultimately comes down to the fact that, I do work a full-time job. I do have grad school. I do have other life responsibilities. And just making time for YouTube, I can pretty much make enough time to get you guys, usually on average, 4 to 5 videos a week. I couldn't really do more, nor would I actually want to, because I want to make videos that you guys can watch yourselves in your own busy lives and not fall behind on.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my theory on it. So, anyway, anything else you wanted to add, Higsby?
Nope, time travel is cool. And yeah, those were some good theories there.
Thank you again for the discussion on time travel. Don't forget, guys, Tigsby does have his own channel, as was mentioned in this video, so go ahead and check it out. You might see a project starting by the time this video is up, so let's hope that is the case.
Take that,
anyway.
Donut Planes too. Anyway.
Yeah, this has been Milesluigi.
And Higsby.
See you next time.
But are we safe? I mean, can we move around and stuff?
Of course we can. Why do you ask?
It's like in the films, you step on a butterfly, you change the future of the human race.
I'll tell you what, then don't step on any butterflies. What have butterflies ever done to you?
What if, I don't know, what if I kill my grandfather?
Are you planning to?
No.
Oh, wait.